it's something we'll be talking about.
So, talking to you now, and talking a little bit before the show, it seems like this is a case that really means a lot to you, right? What is your favorite thing about being a lawyer?
Well, coming from a Jewish background as you do, I wanted to work in a field where there were no Jews. It was too much already.
I don't blame you,
too
brother.
much already.
I don't blame you, brother.
I go home.
Those accents.
So the
and
legal profession.
Always the rubbing the hands.
It was either accounting or so yeah.
What, no medical school?
I'm not good at memorizing. I didn't know Rush, but it did feel like he knew a lot of us, didn't it? The main thing I wanted to say, besides expressing my grief, is that a lot of people don't appreciate, and certainly virtually none of the people who hated him, as I mentioned in a recent tweet, virtually none of whom ever listened to him, certainly not more than for a few minutes. Very few people appreciate what a sophisticated analyst Rush was of politics, social trends, human affairs.
And what practical effect do you see this having on the school choice arguments in the political sphere?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, the school choice argument is really about one thing, and it's about teachers' unions. Everything else is simply is window dressing for that. Teachers' unions have tremendous control over the public education in virtually every state. They drive the bus. The school choice fight is a fight over money. So I would actually venture to say that this decision will have no effect on that debate. The good news, Ruben, here's a white pill for you. The good news is that the reason they're trying to scrunch down dissent, the reason they're canceling, the reason they're trying to prevent people from expressing themselves and from being heard is because the awakening is here. I've never done this before, and I've had lots of great guests on Culmination, but I just finished my second interview with Lee Smith. I just have to tell you, we're going to get it up as soon as we can. You're going to learn more from Lee in this 45-minute interview about everything, the singularity, everything that's going on from Ukraine to Hong Kong to CRT. It's going to be incredible.
The problem with political correctness is not that it says you should say certain things and you should say other things. It has a code of speech, but then so does chivalry, right? So does all sorts of standards. The question is, what is the substance? What are we being told to say? Are we being told to be polite to one another, or are we being told to deny and often invert reality? I mean, that seems to me the real poison and the real power of political correctness.
I lost you because I thought you were going to say the opposite. That we all understand that the content, calling black, white, calling men, women, calling something that isn't marriage, that's the real poison, and that matters far more than the style or the framing. But our point just now was about was that it also matters how you say things and the quality of discourse and literacy and expression, clear expression. In other words, these sort of stuck up kind of William F. Buckley kind of conservatism, as opposed to the God bless us, Alex Jones kind of conservatism, right? Where
show me more than a little dark mark right there. I just
So now I'm her defense lawyer.
Yeah, go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably been spending a lot of time listening to my client, judging her testimony, judging her accounting of what happened, listening to Johnny Depp. And Mr. Depp, he's a highly accomplished actor. He's a very, very fine professional. He deserves everything coming to him in Hollywood. Here's what he doesn't deserve: a verdict of liability for defamation in this case. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this case is not about who treated whom worse in the Depp household. This case is not about who was nastier, who was more callous, who was more believable about who hit whom. This is a question about defamation. And, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Depp has not carried his burden of proof on the question of defamation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that we're having this conversation means that so far, her lawyers have let the trial get away.
Oh, big
Focus.
time. Big time. Big time.
That's what it's supposed to be.
First of all, Ron, that's an excellent closing. And we all no, that's an excellent closing.